Zogling. Well, you're in Mams Ass Clouds across the road, another Zog playing here in the open air, coast to coast nut house we call Zog Babylon, the third and final. But this episode of Mad Dog Musings here is really for the 11th of October 2022. Didn't do one last night because I went to the Granby City Council meeting. So it's going to go ahead and be on the Granby Mode channel as well as the Mad Dog Musings channel. It's going to be on Granby Uncensored and a number of other things here. Anyway, went there. I put in the wrong battery, so I didn't get to record the entire thing. But guess what? These idiots. Let's go ahead and go down. To about the streaming. The streaming. What happens? These idiots. They had two new prosecutors here. Wanting the job of being a prostituter. Now, what a city prostitute is it goes ahead and squeezes the white trash, so that the municipal judge can squeeze the white trash to go ahead and pay for the Granby pig life, for essentially the Granby pig life state here. You see, these council critters, they all want to go ahead and run a police force here. And they want to go ahead and screw the people of Granby. Usually they just go ahead and do it through, by the way, they want to go ahead and screw the people of Granby. And they want to go ahead and use their pigs to do it. Because they're chicken shits. You see, they don't want to go ahead and just simply put a gun, in your face here. No, they want to go ahead and hire the poor to go ahead and buy their gun to go ahead and fuck them over here. You know what I mean? So they had a number of prostituters here. I really ought to go ahead and screw over Diane Paragon, because that bitch, what happened, she actually was going to prosecute me for failure to obey a police officer, which the Granby City Council, made up here. And all it boiled down to is that, hey, pretty well, look, if you go ahead and you kill a pig, you do the entire world a great big favor. Essentially, a pig is a bully and a thug. That's all he is. He's just a bully and a thug. He's a soldier of Satan for Satanists here. That's what he is. So anyway, I had a number of pigs, and pretty well what they need is they need a prostituter. And like Steve White, the municipal judge himself. Well, we have to have this municipal court, so we go ahead and give them enough money and go ahead and pay for the pigs. Well, that's why they get the idea of running a speed trap. Me, I remember, back 30, 40 years ago, talking about Mass Creek. Oh, well, what happens is that, we need to go ahead and have law and order. So who do they have pay for it? Not the people who the pigs are protecting. Whose shit the pigs are protecting. No, they have the poor pay for it. And so that's Crooked Ira and Doreen Klaus's and the other two tards, Bale Chattrell and Gomer Goober Carell's idea. What happens is that they're going to go ahead and have essentially the people who live in Granby pay for it. Now, regrettably, Crooked Ira is getting over his fat daughter dying last month here. He's back to his same old Bell Priest evil self here. He's still milking it for all it's worth here. But in any case, that's what they did. Now, item number 4, live streaming council meeting project. Well, guess what? If they wanted to live stream it, they could have live streamed it years ago. Back even in the 90s, like in American Pie. Have a little webcam, $30 webcam. Hook it up to a, this is before they had Facebook, but hook it up to an internet feed and go ahead and stream it live. Now, I mean, this was possible with internet, 1.0, from about 1994 until what? 2001, something like that. Internet 1.0 was able to do that. What happened certainly about 2 years ago, they could just simply bought a $30 Logitech, put the son of a bitch up, and said, hey, guess what? We're going to go ahead and put it on our Granby Facebook page. But instead, you end up having Tony Flint, who is Barry Flint's spawn, yapping and blaming mainly Boxwine Wedgie Tard, who just had to have a web page. Well, guess what? Boxwine Wedgie Tard, this was just before the Christmas coup of 2020 with Ms. Piggy, Ms. Piggy's Pig Lice, public vagina, and herself, plotting to go ahead and get rid of Jacob Kelly here. The chief of police. Essentially, Jacob Kelly went ahead and found him out about here. You know what I mean? And, there went Wedgie Tard. I seen that bitch about a couple weeks ago. Essentially the bitch regrettably is healthy and mean. The bitch is still a housekeeper, more than likely. But anyway, Wedgie Tard went ahead and paid for her own credit card for the domain name, and then the thing expired in September. So the web page went down. So, what are we going to do? How are we going to go ahead and pay for that? So, but he goes on about how they need a special camera, needs special fittings, something like that. And Bale Chattrell's kid, who goes ahead and, plays their James River, whatever. Oh, my kid's going to go ahead and do it. What's in here? But, what happens? We got to go ahead and do all this sort of thing. No, dumbasses. You could have gone ahead and paid $30. Or, you could have gone ahead and paid less than $100 for a used Sony Digicam of the type that I'm using right now and use it that way. You know what I mean? For your archive copy. Or maybe even your live stream copy. I'm not quite sure here. But $30 Logitech here has the software to do it. It runs Windows, whatever. But no, they go on and on and on, and pretty well. I was tempted to say, what happened to the 4,956 4K video, 3% audio? White Elephant, you went ahead. Why can't that have been used for the last 6 or 7 years here? Why couldn't you just go ahead and boosted the audio to where it was normal, much less only 3%? But no, the whole purpose essentially is for these thieves to steal whatever they want here. Jamie Arnell wasn't in. So then they about the dangerous animal ordinance. Somebody went bitching about, they had a dog problem. Didn't come back. I mean, she was simply told to just simply write it up here. You know what I mean? And they'll do something about it. So they went on and on here. And they dismissed a few things. What they decided to do is go ahead, raise your solid waste disposal here if you live in Granby. And, amend the budget here. But the main thing they wanted to go ahead and bitch about was go back to 2 meetings per month. Now, folks, in September of 2021, essentially, Joanne Lamp, fat, mean, evil bitch here, so greedy, but she has, she never has enough. She went ahead and died. She went ahead and died in late July of the Zog virus, the COVID Zog virus. So guess what? Another fat, ignorant, evil bitch, senile heifer, Joyce Mann, that bitch croaked off on September 14th, and Crooked Ira let out here. But what happens is that here, the Zog virus is killing the fat, evil, stupid, ignorant, council criminal bitches. We're going to die of something here. It's a pity the Zog virus didn't come up before to go ahead and kill them off here. But they decided they're scared. God's going to go ahead and strike them down. Instead, it went ahead and killed crooked, evil, awful, ass clown Ira's, bitch here. And you go ahead and, here is Doreen Klaus. And she's gloating. She's gloating about how by harassing, using the pigs to harass people. Now, folks, that's another reason to get rid of the Granby Police Department. Essentially, it was built so that Barry Flint, instead of having young people come in and put $1,000 or $2,000 trail house and spend $400 or $500 moving it in, and then having a sewer, you know, hook up, and that's where Barry Flint comes in, because he brought in the very first sewer, municipal sewer system. You know, I mean, the city, you know, federal and state paid for 90% of it, but it's Barry's. So anyway, you know, he just thinks he ought to go ahead and get something. The way he ought to get something is, you know, he doesn't want young people to come in and pay just a couple $1,000s and have it paid for after a year. No, he wants to go ahead and make sure that, you know, these new people are paying $300 or $400 a month rent, which is high in Granby back 30 years ago. And so he goes ahead and gets the rest of the crooked council crews to go ahead. You know, and all these assholes, I don't care what it is, all these stupid assholes of the Granby City Council, they immediately become a council critter, with a few exceptions. But they become a council critter, and then they think they get to go ahead and make laws for everybody else. Well, they do. So here she is. She's terrorizing people here. And by the way, yesterday was the third. I said, you know, I went ahead and told Jacob Kelly, you know, that yesterday was the 3rd anniversary of what? I said, well, what happens is that on Columbus Day 2019, Brian Rio had Crooked Ira and Ashley Edgman and the rest here glowed about socking me with $4,000 judgment by a crooked judge named Curlis for daring to sue the city of Granby. Folks, let's not understand. I have a better idea for getting the truth out of people. I would really love, you know, I mean, I think it was like someplace here, but time, you know, you're strangling Lana Price here with the guts of her children here, you know, for essentially being a perjurer. But, you know, don't quite strangle her. Just do the hanging, drawing, and quartering. And essentially, I just love to skin that bitch's hide off her. You know what I mean? You know, I mean, just peel it off. But what I said is that, you know, they went, you know, I mean, you know, you have a problem with getting public documents. Let's go ahead and grab one of their children after you make them eat their spawn's nuts here. You go ahead and torture their children to where you get the truth out of these bastards as to what the hell they're up to. But no, I mean, that would be the best way to go ahead and go about doing it here. You'd have responsive government. You know, or at least probably not much of any government left either. But no, what happened is I said, look, the next day, here, Crooked Ira, you know, and the city council, fat old Ashley Edgman, here he's a bell priest that lived next door. Here they were gloating, and guess what? You know, what happens is that literally at 12:35, I went ahead and seen, you know, here's some trees coming down at my property. I hear a bulldozer, you know, from Larry's whatever. Larry lied, you know, Larry lied about having a court order. There was no court order. So guess what? I'd love to bulldoze down Larry's, you know, use Larry's bulldozer to bulldoze down, well, pretty well Joanne Lamps, Joyce Mann's, the Bell Priest Church next door, Crooked Ira's Bell Priest Church, and the City Hall. Now just go ahead, just learn them, learn them. You better leave your goddamn bulldozers to yourself. But anyway, I was thinking of going in with 30-06. Essentially, first I'd shoot I was going to shoot Jacob Kelly. Then, of course, Jim Channel. You know, probably just enough to go ahead and incapacitate. I'd love to go ahead and put a few more bolts in him to make him suffer. You know, and then maybe, you know, then Larry, and then a few others of the characters. I decided not to because Roxy was sick. I hadn't given my property to my sister yet. You know, so yeah, there'd be a lot of litigation. But, you know, I've lost my property, you know, and guess what? South Dakota, you judges, lawyers, policemen, politicians, you're going to go ahead and lose your spawns nuts, or actually you'll gain them. Of course, it'll be a quick meal here, but never mind. Anyway, you know, I said, yeah, You know, and then Jim Chow. I mean, Jim Chow is just a total chicken shit. You know, total. You know, total. I mean, he's really a retard, but he's a shrewd retard. I mean, he's a genius. He's a genius for stealing. And you said you're going to shoot me? I said, no. And then what happens, one pig said, no. He said he was thinking of shooting you 3 years ago. So then he goes ahead and says, well, I heard you ran like a pussy from Floyd Lamp here. And on the way down there, you know, you had, you know, Pighook's, you know, baby mama, the hippo. You know, I mean, nothing's meaner than a hippo, you know, in Africa. I mean, hippos kill more Negroes, you know, more Negroes in Africa than lions, tigers, bears, crocodiles, you know, black mambas, and everything else here. More, you know, hippos kill more than all the other, you know, non-legged, you know, beasts of the field, or the legged beasts of the field too. So, you know, no, she went ahead and egged, and old Floyd went ahead, and that was Roxy's idiot older brother here. I mean, shit, he could read and write less well than Roxy. It's a pity that bastard's still alive, but he did go ahead and work on starting the chainsaw, and I thought of going ahead, there was a board there, and I thought of laying him out, and said, nah, I'll come back, it's still there. I'll deal with Floyd now. I told my brother, you know, Pighook, that you know, you'd have killed the hippo. I said, hell no, I would not kill the hippo. That bitch would have stayed alive here. Now, of course, the question is whether you go ahead a 30-06 bullet in one kneecap or in the other kneecap here. I sort of think just one kneecap, because a 30-06 really, you know, especially the one with a soft deer round here, really has a tendency to mess shit up here. So probably just one 30-06 bullet here. Floyd, I might have loved to go ahead and shoot in the guts here, but you know, who knows. Anyway, you know, I said, yeah, that was it. So, you know, he just goes ahead and he's lying like crazy here. You know, I don't know. I mean, you know, look, you don't, if you're going to go ahead and you're thinking of killing somebody here, you know, this is just, you don't go ahead and talk about it. You don't talk about it. Now, you might go ahead and, you know, really, you don't talk about it at all. You know, really, there needs to be a white supremacist manifesto here. Essentially, you know, just have a postcard, you know, I did it because of the Jews. But no, I mean, you don't talk about it. You just go ahead and either do it or don't do it. And I didn't do it. And guess what? The Zogwires came here, and, well, guess what? You can always go ahead and shoot these bastards later. I mean, you know, go ahead and point out Jim Chow's a big coward. But anyway, it went on this way here. These evil assholes, you know, and then you had some fat bitch whining about what a great job, Doreen, and, you know, one day a month is not enough for these idiots to fuck over the people of Granby. No. No, 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 no. Crooked Ira came out, I'm going to annex more Granby. No, look, folks. The people here east of Granby, they don't want, you know, I mean, they know all about Granby. They don't want anything to do with Granby. Anybody who's west of Granby should know the same damn thing. Don't want anything to do with Granby, if you have any sense. I mean, why should you? More likely they already have a well. More than likely, you know, you don't want to go ahead and get on Granby water or Granby natural gas or any Granby thing. You don't want the damn pigs around. You just want to go ahead and live your life. And anybody who goes ahead and buys a new house is a fucking idiot in Granby. When you go ahead and buy whatever kind of house you want here. You buy a trailer house, you go ahead and put something up on concrete blocks here. You know, the land's gotten up a little bit in price. You know, certainly. I mean, hell, the place at the end of the road, which I thought would be worth only $45,000, sold to some Jew Yorker for $120,000, what I heard. You know what I mean? I mean, people are looking for survival acres, but if you come to Granby, you're not getting Mayberry. You're getting inbred Gomorrah is what you're getting. So anyway, this bitch goes on and on and on. So Granby's known as white trash town. Well, yes, it is. Granby has a high percentage of child molesters and dopers and all that sort of thing. But it don't really matter. I mean, shoot, places like Ohio, they're just gulping down them fentanyl pills like crazy here. It's not just the meth anymore here. In fact, this area used to be around the #1 county and the #2 state for meth labs back when the meth heads used to scrape. So you don't see them there's meth skulls anymore here. But on the other hand, it's Mexican meth. But it's not really the meth who's going ahead and killing so many. It's the fentanyl here. You know, fentanyl is the opium of them asses. So anyway, that is what they end up doing, and they just essentially what boiled down to is Crooked Ira has the notion he's going to go ahead and clean up Granby or something like that here. Well, no. Now look, like I said before here, as it is before, I already have a bulldozer lien on the Granby City Hall. You know what I mean? You need to go ahead and teach you the hard way to mind your own goddamn business. But you won't learn. Anyway, Pastor Martin Linstead, Mad Dog's Musings for the 11th of October, 2022. So, yeah, it was a Tuesday after Columbus Day. So, yeah, 3 years ago, I was seriously thinking of gunning down a bunch of Granby assholes. And then what I thought, you know, because look, folks, what happens when you go ahead and you shoot a pig or a lawyer or a judge or something, you're doing the world a favor. You're going ahead and fighting against Satan's government. You know what I mean? You're doing the white race a favor as well. I mean, let's understand something. These pieces of shit here. And I'll go ahead and talk later about the Alex Jones and what happened in my particular latest Brian Reel versus Martin Linstead in Northeast Ohio. And yeah, I do intend, you know, what 16 words, we must Chernobylize the North Perry nuclear power plant and exterminate or enslave all of Northeast Ohio. Yeah, the same way, you know, the state of South Dakota. You're the judge, lawyer, pig, whatever, you know, essentially, you know, part of the regime. You need to eat your spawn's nuts. In fact, Pastor Martin, Mad Dog Half-Beard Linstead, you know, my campaign is, I'll make regime criminals eat their spawn's nuts. Very simple. Really simple. Don't have any problem like that. So I'll go ahead and talk about Alex Jones. I'll talk about how things are falling apart. How Russia is pretty well beating the Ukrainians and a number of other things. You know, on the last episode of Mad Dog's Musings. So until later, hail victory.